YouTube is Trev. Okay, I want to try to make this as quick as I can. Obviously, a lot of things going on with the Terra rebels right now. If you just saw a video that I just put out, it was a very long one, an interview. There was some information there. No, how accurate any of it is or how truthful any of it is. It's coming from one person's opinion, one person's perspective. There's always another side, if not two or three sides to the same story. So, but bottom line is there's a lot of stuff going on. And before I really get into some other information that I have, I want to address something. I don't know, or I don't care really, how you feel about any of these guys, these Terra rebels, right? I don't care how you feel about what they did. I don't care how you feel about them personally, right? It doesn't matter. What I do want to say is they have been receiving death threats, threats to their safety and to their health, threats to their families, right? And that's bullshit, okay? I don't care how you feel about them, all right? I might even agree with how you feel about them, but that is... saying that it's inappropriate is not even close to strong enough, okay? It's effed up. You don't do that. It's potentially criminal, right? Depending on, I guess, where you live or whatever. I think that those kind of threats could get you in a lot of trouble here in the U.S. I'll tell you that. And for those of you who are doing it, I don't know what you think you're doing. I don't know if you think that you're sticking up for the community, or maybe you're just having fun because you can do it with the anonymity. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on in your life that you would do something like that to someone. If you want to express your dissatisfaction with anything that's been said or anything that's been done, that's your right. To go and threaten someone, to send texts and pictures of horrific things, beheadings, telling people that they're next, stuff like that. No, you don't represent us, okay? In fact, you're an asshole, all right? Plain and simple. You don't represent this community. You're not helping at all. And you can be on your way. And I think that I speak for any decent human being or any decent person that is in this community, okay? And if I don't speak for you, if you think that this stuff is funny or that it's warranted, you're an asshole too. That's how I feel about it, okay? That said, and a lot of people are like, well, listen, anybody that we talk to, anybody that we trust, or anybody we're going to give money to, they should all be doxxed. These are the reasons that people don't want to dox. They're getting threats in their DMs to the point where they've got to shut them off. I've had to contact a couple of people in other ways and tell them, dude, did you ban me or something? No, I just shut my DMs off because I'm getting death threats all day long, right? Can you imagine if these people, these crazy ass people, had access to their real names or where they live or their jobs or their homes, right? You cannot just brush it aside and say, oh, it's just, it's not credible. It's this, it's that. Because how many times have we done that? And, somebody goes in and shoots up a school or shoots up a club or a bar or whatever. And we find out that, the police kind of already had been told about this person. Or, the counselors at school had talked to the parents and said, you got to get these people help. And it's ignored because nobody thinks that anybody will actually go and do it. But then it happens. All right. So you cannot brush this stuff off and be like, who's going to, who's actually going to do something like that? This is, it's just somebody who's running a blockchain. It's nothing. It's just stupid people. No, you can't do that. You have to assume that this stuff could potentially go down. Right. You have to take it seriously, very seriously to the point where if you can find out who these people are that are making these threats, the law enforcement should be notified because they're not all right in the head. Okay. All right. Anyway, That's how I feel about that. If you feel differently, I don't know what to tell you, right? Okay, so I had a conversation last night, a really long conversation last night with Rex. And I've talked to a few other people as well between last night and today. So there's a bunch of stuff going on. Some people have left the Terra Rebels, and they've left since these decisions were made about what to do with this money or whatever. The timing is, maybe up in the air. Not sure exactly when everybody left, if it was pre-disbursement of money or after disbursement of money. But talking to a few people, I've got their story, and I'll share that with you. And again, I wasn't there. I don't have evidence of any of this. This is basically just what they told me, okay? So talking to Rex, this is a very unofficial count, but off the top of his head, he gave me 6 names of people that have gone, that have left since the whole money disbursement thing happened, since Zaradar left, all that, right? So aside from Zaradar, 6 other people. The first name on the list is Yogaba, which was a shock to me. Yogaba actually gets in contact with me and talks about, doing stuff for, influencers. And, we've had some conversations, and sounds like he's very much into being a Terra rebel and whatever, right? So I had a conversation with him, a little one. I reached out to him, and I can tell you Yogaba, he's leaving, or he's left the Terra Rebels, and he does not blame the Terra Rebels. He does not blame the organization or what anybody has done or decisions that have been made. He blames what I was just talking about. He blames how the community, the hate, right? The hate and the threats and the whatever else. It's not worth it. So Yogaba's gone, okay? 2 other names you may have seen on Twitter, me talking to yesterday. Venus and Rage Pie, I guess is the way that you would pronounce the name. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know these people, okay? I don't think I've ever even heard their names. I'm not in the Terra Rebels Discord as much as I used to be. I'm sure a lot of you know who these people are. I didn't know them, okay? But I saw some stuff on Twitter. Venus posted that she had undelegated a lot of her LUNC, and was attempting to find a way to send it back to the community pool. So I asked about it. Aesop's asked about it. We all got on and started chatting about it. And then Rage Pie jumped in and said that he was interested in doing the same thing, but it's not that easy. There's just like coding issues or whatever. It's not like the community pool is just a wallet with an address that you can just send stuff to. It doesn't work that way, all right? So they're having trouble figuring out how to get the money back. Now, they have reached out. Here's the good news. They have reached out to Ed Kim, and Ed Kim went over a couple different options for them. I also spoke very briefly with Ed through text, right? And asked Ed, is it possible? Can anyone who wants to send the money that they got, right, back to the community pool, which I called for in a previous video? I think that that's just the right thing to do, right? Can it be done? And he said, yes, it can be done. So now it's a matter of, do they have the equipment or the means to actually do what needs to be done? Talking about nodes and this and that and the other thing, right? Gets technical where, above me and above probably most of you, just know that they are attempting to do it. There was a question, somebody else that I spoke with kind of questioned the timing on it, because the fact of the matter is these people voted to get the money. They got the money. And then this legal assessment came out. And now all of a sudden they're trying to get the money back. So was it, a fit of conscience that said, you know what? Yeah, that's the right thing to do, is get that money back. I never should have taken it. Was it that? Or was it the threat of potential legal liability? Was it the thought of, I don't really want this following me? I don't know, okay? But I do have, I have had conversations with both Venus and Rage Pie, and they are saying that they will come on the channel and chat. So that might be happening soon, if not later on today, maybe, at some other point. But I might be able to get them on today. So stay tuned for that. The fourth name was PSX-TX, right? Just call him PSX. And now I just did like a 1 hour interview with PSX, the video right before this one. And you can go ahead and listen to that one. But PSX got booted, in his own words, from TR for various reasons. And again, if you want to hear those reasons, you can listen to that extensive interview where, some bombs were dropped if they're real and true. I haven't verified anything, but he had quite a bit to say, and it was quite an interesting chat. Now, PSX tells me that he never received any of that money. He never gave anybody a wallet for them to put any of the money in. So there's no money to return. He never got any of it. They booted him out. And currently, PSX controls their Twitter account. He hijacked it. Plain and simple. He stole it. He changed the email, the password, and he freely admits it. And he's kind of proud of it. So, I don't know. Go and listen to that video, and you'll hear all about that. Other than that, Metal Gear Salad and Mustafa. I have spoken briefly with Metal Gear. I have not spoken with Mustafa, so I'm not sure exactly what those stories are. But they also left, presumably because of this money and maybe some of the hassles that they're going through because they accepted it. Okay. Some people have told me that they've objected, from the beginning. Zaradar tells me he was the only one who actually objected, and he was the only one that voted against it. And I believe that there is some sort of evidence for that, these people that are talking about that they objected from the beginning, well, you voted for it, though, and you took the money. So there are some questions to be asked and answered as far as that goes. I appreciate everyone's effort trying to get the money back. It's the right thing to do. Honestly, it's the only thing to do, okay? Who remains? Who's left? Well, Rex is still there. Clan Mudhorn, still a Terra Rebel. Raider, still a Terra Rebel. Hannah, and Echelon. And I had a brief conversation with Echelon earlier, which I don't get the feeling that he likes me very much, because there are some people who feel like you should not cover this kind of stuff. You shouldn't talk about it. Sweep it under the rug. What good is it going to do for the community to bring this stuff up? And that's a perspective, right? And, I respect everyone's perspective. My perspective is, and it's, anybody who really knows me knows it's not about clicks. It's not about clickbait. It's not about making money, from, people watching or whatever. It is about, I'm not complaining that I do. I'm happy that I'm monetized. That's great. It gives me reason to kind of, the ability to kind of keep doing this, right? But I really am focused on getting information to the community, and letting you do your due diligence, to check up on everything that, that is presented to you. But I think that if there are problems, you don't sweep them under the rug. And I understand the whole thing about people on the outside looking at this. They're not going to want to invest if they see all these problems going on all the time. But that might be true, okay? But the way that you get rid of the problems, the way that you stop them from happening, is that you have the conversation. You talk about it, you argue about it, you fight about it, you do whatever. Just like any relationship, right? Husband and wife or whatever kind of situation you're in, right? When there are problems, you can kind of hold it all inside, not say anything about it, but the problems don't go away, right? In fact, they get worse. What you do is you get it out in the open, you talk about it, you cry about it, you fight about it, whatever it is, but you work through it. You get through it. You figure out the way to move forward. So here's the information for you. Do whatever you want to do with it. I mean, where does Terra Rebels go from here? Now, there's 5 names that I have of existing Terra Rebels. There might be a couple others because there's a lot of Terra Rebels I've never even heard of, okay? People that have come on maybe later, but you don't hear all the names really all the time. So if it's these 5 people and maybe a couple other people, what happens now? Is that enough? The names that I just said, let's say it's just all them, only them. What happens? Are they able to continue on and be this L2 development team that they maybe said that they wanted to be? Are there enough of them to continue Rebel Station and to run it and to keep it, to get it going and to keep it going? I don't know. I don't know the answers to these questions. I've talked to Rex about coming on, and talked to a couple of them who are left about coming on, and nobody seems to want to come on and talk to the community right now. Might be a good decision of theirs, might not be. I don't know. But we don't have answers to these questions. We're left to speculate until someone actually steps up or they get together and say, yeah, let's talk about it, right? There are going to be tough questions that are going to be answered. That's just the way it is, right? But if you're on the side of right, you should never be afraid of tough questions, right? All right, so that's where we are right now. That's the information that I have up to now. And as more things come in, I will let you know. Like I said, I'm hoping to get Venus and Rage Pie on maybe later on today. If not, it'll be like maybe late tomorrow. And, let's take in all the information and let's talk about it and let's get this thing fixed, okay? Here's to a really, really good 2023. I think we can do it. All right, talk to y'all later. Ciao.